Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
ID troops neutralized two CPP-NPA terrorists, seized firearms in northern summer clash. ISMINCOM records 894 CTG members neutralized in 82 operations. BBM and DILG Inc. deal to release 700 million pesos aid for LGU projects. COMELEC defers BARM Parliamentary District's reconstitution.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Friday, August 29, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, troops of the 8th Infantry Division clashed with 10 Communist terrorist group members in Barangay San Jose, Mapanas, Northern Samar, neutralizing 2 rebels and seizing 2 M16 rifles with ammunition. The firefight erupted during a focused military operation after residents reported the presence of armed rebels engaged in extortion activities. Authorities identified one of the fatalities as Motao Ortazo alias Ibarro of Barangay Magsaysay, Mapanas, while the other remains under confirmation. 8ID Commander Major General Adonis Ariel Orayo lauded the troops' bravery and credited community support for the success, and he stressed that the victory further weakens the Eastern Visayas Regional Party Committee's dwindling presence in Northern Samar.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Eastern Mindanao Command marked its 19th anniversary at the Naval Station Felix Apolinario, Panacan, Davao City yesterday, with a report of major victories in its fight against insurgency. ISMINCOM Commander Lieutenant General Luis Rex Bergante announced that 894 Communist terrorist group members were surrendered, captured, or died in 82 military operations across eastern Mindanao. Troops also recovered 498 firearms and dismantled 1 guerrilla front, 4 New People's Army vertical units, and 2 sub-regional committees, severely weakening the rebel structure. Lieutenant General Bergante stressed that these achievements translated to safer and more peaceful communities in the region.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now more updates from CAF. AFP draws strength from Filipinos' strong backing on West Philippine Sea stand.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines hailed the overwhelming support of Filipinos in defending the country's sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea. An NOCTA research survey revealed that 85% of Filipinos distrust China, while 76% strongly support the government's stance on territorial disputes. AFP spokesperson for West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, said this backing strengthens soldiers' resolve to safeguard the seas. peace. He stressed that the national unity is key in upholding the country's rights and security in the region. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 2nd Police Mobile Force Company welcomed the local Amnesty Board Albay Secretariat team at their camp in Barangay Karaykayon, Tigawon, Camarines Sur. The visit aimed to strengthen collaboration in facilitating amnesty orientation and processing applications from 10 former rebels. With support from the Public Attorney's Office of Camarines Sur's 4th District, legal assistance was provided to ensure smooth application procedures. Officials emphasized that the amnesty program guarantees safe and just reintegration of former rebels into mainstream society.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Bravo Company of 27 Infantry Battalion conducted a gift-giving activity for fire-affected families in Purukuan, Barangay Salaysay, Marilog District, Davao City. 18 families received clothing, canned goods, and rice to help meet their immediate needs. The beneficiaries expressed gratitude for the Army's timely assistance amid their difficult situation. This effort highlights the 27 IB's commitment to humanitarian service alongside its peace and security mission.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, here's some information from Joanne about Philippine Navy inaugurates forward operating base in Batanes.
The Philippine Navy led the inauguration of the forward operating base at the Mahatao Shelter Port in the province of Batanes on August 28, 2025. This is part of the implementation of the goal to provide the Philippine Navy with modern and broader capabilities. The event was personally attended by Philippine Navy Vice Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, Philippine Navy, NOLCOM Commander Lieutenant General Fernil G. Buca, Philippine Air Force, and Northern Luzon Naval Command Commander Commodore Edward Ike de Sagon, Philippine Navy. The construction of the facility began on March 16, 2020 and was funded under the Office of former Congresswoman Henedina Razon-Abad in cooperation with the Philippine Navy and the Philippine Trading Corporation. The construction was officially completed on January 30, 2025. Governor Ronald Aguto Jr. attended the inauguration as a guest speaker and expressed his gratitude to the Philippine Navy for the project, which supports the security of the northern part of the province. The forward operating base is expected to help strengthen the Philippine Navy's capability for maritime presence and security in the waters of the Batanes province and the country's northernmost region. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 21st Infantry Battalion formally handed over its area of operation in Patasulu to the 104th Infantry Battalion. 1102nd Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Alaric Avelino de los Santos led the turnover during his visit to the Municipal Hall in Saimbangon Village. Pata Vice Mayor Anton Burahan welcomed the brigade commander and discussed the security concerns with the team. Brigadier General de los Santos stressed that the transition reaffirms military and local government partnership in sustaining peace and stability.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said the Philippines was willing to work with the United States to an even greater extent amid mounting security challenges in the region. PBBM issued the statement as he welcomed U.S. Senators Roger Wicker and Deb Fisher, along with the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee congressional delegation during a courtesy call in Malacanang. Marcos thanked the U.S. for its continuing support to the modernization of the Philippines Armed Forces. He also added that the Philippines is very open to any proposals, any suggestions, and any ideas that they might have for both countries to improve the situation.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from AMI about top NPA leader in Bukidnon surrenders to authorities.
Yes, Rofh, a top new People's Army leader in Bukidnon, surrendered to the police in San Fernando Town, Bukidnon. The 33-year-old squad leader turned over a high-powered firearm, a homemade caliber 5.56 revolver pistol, and live ammunition. He is now under the custody of the 1003rd Maneuver Company for debriefing and profiling. Police Regional Office 10 Director Police Brigadier General Rolando M. Sugilon lauded the surrender, saying it shows rebels' growing trust in the government's peace efforts. This is Ami reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ami.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Budget and Management and the Department of the Interior and Local Government have signed a joint memorandum circular to facilitate the release of 700 million pesos. This is in financial assistance for local government projects under the 2025 Support and Assistance Fund to Participatory Budgeting Program. DBM said the fund will benefit more than 40 local government units nationwide. Of the total beneficiaries, 35 LGUs will implement projects aimed at improving access to safe and resilient water supply and sanitation services, while 9 disaster-prone LGUs will receive support for the construction of climate-smart evacuation centers.
DWDD National News.
Leaders of the House of Representatives supported the call of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for a lifestyle check on government officials. This will begin with those of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Manila Representative Bienvenido Abante Jr. said he is in favor of the President's order, but the lifestyle check should include all officials, including the judiciary. Public Accounts Committee Chair Representative Terry Ridon also said he believes there would be no problem if the lifestyle check would cover members of Congress and the judiciary. Ridon added he is quite sure the PBBM also wants to respect the co-equality of the branches of government, and there will be no problem for members of Congress and even the judiciary to have a lifestyle check.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Gio about 19th IB honors fallen hero with Barocabok Recreational Hall.
The 19th Infantry Battalion commemorated National Heroes Day by honoring the late Corporal Bobby Barocabok, who was killed in an encounter against CTGs in Samar last February. As tribute, the battalion inaugurated the Barocabok Recreational Hall, a facility dedicated to his sacrifice and legacy. The unveiling was led by his family and partner alongside unit officers, witnessed by troops in a solemn ceremony. The commemoration concluded with a budol fight that reinforcing unity and commitment to peace. This is Gio reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gio.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, an independent commission should be organized to investigate anomalous flood control projects, according to Senator Francis Pangilinan. This is on top of conducting lifestyle checks on officials suspected of involvement in graft-tainted contracts. Pangilinan said he supports the move first proposed by Senate Minority Leader Vicente Soto III for the creation of the Independent People's Commission. He suggested that the commission be led by former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, the former Department of Public Works and Highways Chief Rogelio Singson, and Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong. He also voiced support for President Marcos's call for a lifestyle check on officials involved in project implementation.
DWDD National News.
The National Police Commission is set to issue a resolution affirming the status of Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. as acting chief of the Philippine National Police. NAPOLCOM Executive Officer Rafael Vicente Calinisan said the resolution would formalize Nartates' full authority as acting chief rather than officer in charge of the police force. For Kalinisan, it is imperative that Nartates has full authority over the police force, even if he is still a three-star general, stressing there is a big difference between an officer in charge and acting chief PNP. He also added that OIC has power over routinary functions of the office, but has no discretionary power, and as acting chief, Nartates has full powers in his tools.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more of this from Shaina about Army troops push peace and development in indigenous communities.
Yes, Rofh. The 601st Infantry Brigade, together with the 19th Infantry Battalion and Cotabato-based civil society organization, held a dialogue and outreach activity in Perez Hill, Dato Unsay, Maguindanao del Sur. The event featured free medical checkups, feeding, distribution of sleepers and toys, and a boodle fight with the Tiduray community. Indigenous leaders raised land boundary concerns, calling for fair dialogue to protect their ancestral rights. Military and CSO leaders reaffirmed their commitment to inclusive peace, unity, and development in BARM. This is Shaina Raneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
The newly installed Philippine National Police Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. plans to focus on two things: managing resources in police operations and promising to make fair assignments and reassignments within the police force. Nartates said his administration will focus on proper management of manpower, logistics, and finances to ensure that each police officer gets taken care of from recruitment all the way to retirement. He said from the moment that the PNP recruited them up to the moment that they retire, separation from service, and in between, there is continuous training, taking a look at the physical and mental wellness, their morale and welfare, including placements. He laid out his plans after he was asked to comment on the controversial reshuffle that led to the sudden relief of General Nicolas Torre III as Philippine National Police Chief.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Elections has deferred the reconstitution of parliamentary districts at the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao due to lack of time. COMEC Chairperson George Erwin Garcia said that with BARM elections scheduled on October 13, COMEC could not wait much longer for the passage of Parliament Bill 351 of the Bangsamoro Parliamentary District Act of 2025. Garcia said the Commission on Bank has deferred the reconstitution to the next BARM parliamentary elections due to its impractical applications, considering the time-bound milestone preparatory activities, onset of election and campaign periods, and to avoid voter confusion and disenfranchisement in the Bangsamoro region.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let us hear the report of Jim Boy about 38 IB-backed Serbisyo caravan brings government services to Polomok residents.
The 38th Infantry Battalion supported the Serbisyo caravan at Barangay Benton Gymnasium, Molopolok, delivering essential service to about 500 residents. The activity was led by the Provincial Task Force LCAC, Department of Interior and Local Government Region 12, and the Provincial Government of South Cotabato with the partner agencies. Services included free medical and dental consultation, PhilHealth assistance, Philippine Static Authority and National ID registration, and livelihood support. The 38th IB reaffirmed its commitment to community initiative and stronger civil-military operation. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
The Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura pressed the Department of Agriculture to explain the delayed release of fertilizer subsidies, warning that the problem may be linked to possible ghost deliveries. Sinag Chairperson Rosendo So said farmers in Ilocos, Cagayan Valley, and Mimaropa have yet to receive the government subsidy that was supposed to be distributed in June at the start of the planting season. He said the delays are compounding the struggles of farmers who are reeling from a string of typhoons earlier this year. He emphasized that unlike last year, when subsidies were released on time and coincided with better palay prices, farmers this year face both lower prices and a lack of government support.
DWDD National News.
The Social Security System hailed President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Finance Secretary Rofh for initiating pension reforms. SSS President and CEO Robert Joseph Declaro said the agency has unveiled more programs, including the Pension Reform Program, which will be rolled out next month. De Clark said Marcos and Recto had pushed these initiatives when they filed bills when they were senators in the 16th Congress. Under the PRP, increases in pension will be implemented in 3 stages in 3 years. Beginning August 31, retirement and disability pensioners will receive a 10% increase, while death or survivor pensioners will receive a 5% increase effective next month.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, the Judicial and Bar Council started its interview for applicants to the post of Ombudsman. Former Commissioner on Audit and current Philippine Competition Commission Chairperson Michael Aguinaldo was the first to be interviewed by the body. Aguinaldo said he would inhibit himself if any of his 10 relatives who are in government ever have to face cases in the office of the Ombudsman. The interviews also saw candidates voice their ideas on the rules covering the statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth, lifestyle checks, and tackling the case backlogs in the Graft Busters office.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again next week for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Committee News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.